heard of several kinds of cat, and my opinion now is that you should need no interpreter to understand our character.
Everyone's getting their seats ready. Everyone just take a deep breath real quick and say, Andre. We're gonna breathe that in. So one more time, breathe in. Andre. What a gift we have. I'm so honored to be here with you today, brother. So excited. And thank you, Tribeca, for inviting us to talk about moving beyond expectations. There is no better human being to be on this stage with other than André De Shields. I'm gonna do a brief bio and then we're gonna dig right in because I know everyone here already knows who we're sitting with, who we're talking to, who we're honoring today. He is the ultimate multi-hyphenate with a celebrated career as an actor, singer, dancer, director, and choreographer. He has received many accolades, including a Tony Award, yes, a Grammy Award, yes, a Primetime Emmy Award, yes, and he is once again nominated for Tony Award for his work in the revival of Cat's Jellicle Ball. You all know that, yeah? Yeah, of course. Yes. His career spans theater, film, and TV, leaving an impact at every step. As a legend who has lived a life not encumbered by expectations, I want to say thank you again for being a model of that for me and every artist in this room. André De Shields, you are the centerpiece of this year's Expression of Black Freedom program, and I'm honored to be talking with you today.
Good afternoon, my beautiful siblings.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I'm so glad to be here. No better way to spend a Friday afternoon but with you gorgeous folks. Hit me.
I first met, so I've known of you for a while, Andrew, but I met you in 2014. I was in a show called The Fortress of Solitude, amazing music written by Michael Friedman, and I met you in Dallas, Texas. And when I met this man, I was like, what is this being? It's something beyond this earth. There's this presence that I feel like is borrowing your body to show us something magnificent. And I was doing my homework, because you do that when you're talking to a legend like yourself, and you talk about Black majesty. And when you see André De Shields, you feel this Black majesty. André, what is Black majesty?
What is eccentric about the community of African Americans is that our history begins with enslavement. But because I am a child of the African diaspora, I wanted to understand where I'm coming from so that I could have an idea about where I needed to go. Before there was Africa, before there was the Middle East, before there was the Sinai Peninsula, there was a land mass. And the people who lived on the land mass were referred to as Afri. It was the Greeks who took that word and called us Africans. Prior to that, we were a massive kingdom called Akun. In the understanding that my history is older than ancient, it gave me an idea of why I didn't need to find my purpose. We use that term very often. I have to find my purpose in life. I learned from studying the ancient beginnings of civilization that what we should rather do is create our purpose in life, thereby making very few mistakes. When you create who you are, an automatic ingredient of that creation is elegance, self-knowledge. Early in my life, I understood that what I needed to do was surrender to my destiny. I did that. And then all I needed to do was pursue only those blessings on which the universe had written my name.
That's so profound. So profound.
Well, our parents were always telling us, not everything that glitters is gold.
Amen.
Not every shut eye is asleep. Not every goodbye is gone. The relationship that I have established with what we call the universe, and that I'd love to encourage all of you to at least experiment with, is that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, which is why we say, as it is above, so is it below. Meteorites that hit this planet are made of titanium, arsenic, hydrogen, gold. That's what we're made of. Therefore, we can intelligently conclude that we are microcosms of the macrocosm. And what does that mean? It means that in nature, which is what the cosmos is, in nature, nothing happens without purpose. So you don't have to go searching for it. You have to collaborate with nature and create it for yourself. And you won't get in your own way, and you won't get in anybody else's way. Because the universe is a cornucopia, and all it does is spill abundance to those of us who are sentient creatures. That's all the universe does.
I love what you're saying about your role with the...
Let me finish this thought. So if the universe does nothing but provide abundance, our relationship to it should be gratitude. Go.
I was just gonna say, this relationship with you and the universe, it's like, it's two ways and it's so connected. When I think about expectations, I want to go back to your family life. And I know that your parents were also artists, and I wonder what their expectations were of you as one of 11 children, and how you deal with, release, or carry those expectations with your very strong presence, both here and on stage.
Well, allow me to tell the truth. My parents were not artists actively.
Yeah.
They were artists in their spirit, but they were born around the turn of the 20th century. And again, because we were African Americans, At the turn of the 20th century, we were simply beginning to learn how to dream. It was a half a century earlier that we had just been manumitted by the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. So it took some time for us to understand that we are a free, dynamic, explosive part of what is the cosmic dynamism. Once you understand that about one's self, which takes a lifetime, sometimes several lifetimes. So the reason I say I surrendered to my destiny is that when I was evicted from my mother's womb, we all understand that birth is an eviction, right? I was filled with the dreams of my mother and my father, of the X and Y chromosomes. I didn't learn that until later when I could have an adult conversation with my parents, and my mother revealed to me, Andre, child, all I wanted to be was a chorus girl. She didn't say dancer, she said chorus girl, because she was educated by the Harlem Renaissance. When you had to be tall, tan, and terrific to work in the Cotton Club, where you had to pass the paper bag test. Anybody know about the paper bag test? Yeah, good, right. So, as in the poem by Langston Hughes, my mother's dreams were deferred. Similar was my father's expectations, who wanted to be a singer. And he had a beautiful voice, but his ambition only got him as far as singing in the church choir. Because he had 11 children he had to take care of, right? But when I could have an adult conversation with him, he confided in me and said, oh, Andre, all I ever wanted to do was sing. So how, what business do I have questioning my birth when the X chromosome says dance and the Y chromosome says sing? I don't have to scratch my head. I don't have to wish upon a star. I have to say, okay, show me the way. I will obey.
Can I ask, Andre, there are so many people who can sing, who can dance. You do something very different than that. You don't sing, you don't dance. There's a seed in you that's so obviously beyond, right? Like there's just something also happening beyond your craft that defies expectations. Every time I see you, there's something, even you sitting here, right? If you've ever seen Andre walk down the street, Andre walking down the street is not just a human walking down the street. You're carrying something profound, and it defies expectations even of like a New Yorker racing around. What are you carrying, and where does that come from?
This takes us back to Black elegance. In my 80 years on the earth, what I have understood year after year is that my journey Remember, I talked about the ancient kingdom of Aksum, where everyone had integrity, everyone had dignity. Not everyone had the same material situation, but in terms of the spirit, in terms of the three brains that we have, the one that's here, which is called our intellect, the one that is here, which is called our spirit, and the one that is here, which is called our purpose. Those three brains together create who we are. What I learned from those three energies is that my history may be enslavement, but my purpose is to assume the throne to which I know I am heir. I'm not guessing. I know I am a king. I know I am a legend. I know I am an icon. I know I am a deity. I simply have to remove the rubbish that has been put in my way to assume what I already am. What you already are. I'm not claiming this exclusively. There's a lot we can search for. Make one of those searches the throne to which you know you are heir. So you're right, I don't walk, I float.
Float. I've seen, and also, you know, there's such a focus in that, because when you know who you are the way you do, Andre, the way we all can, should, hold, there is a focus in that, and there's a peace in that. And when we get lost in the rubbish, how are you moving rubbish? Is there ever still rubbish? Have you mastered even the relationship to rubbish so that it never comes? Does it still come?
Oh yeah, it's there. It's there all the time. It's part of living on a planet where the paragon of the animals don't respect the natural elements. See, we need to be collaborating with air, water, fire, and earth. Not controlling it, not causing it to disappear, but allowing it to be our friend. I know this sounds so corny that it's impossible to grasp. But the reason I come here and I say, good afternoon, my beautiful siblings, is because we each need to grasp, embrace the lesson that we are related. And if one of us is chained, none of us is free.
Andre, in 2019, you received a Sage Award. And I'm watching this interview, and I'm like, wow, this man is a pastor. Wow, this man is a social change advocate. And in the interview, you say, I'm not just an artist. Because of my identity and how I have lived, how I have overcome, I'm also a living activist in my work, and you talk about freedom in this, and it reminds me of the revolution of cats, and that there is a spirit of freedom in that work. There's also a spirit of freedom in The Wiz, being the first, being able to totally say, this Black Dorothy, when she sings about home, is singing about a home that everybody can understand in a different way than, God bless Judy Garland, who we love. It's a different home that is now sung when Stephanie Mills sings this. And you've been in these spaces of revolution so much, and it's obviously not by coincidence, but just talk to us about this journey where you're in the seat on the stage in these life-changing rooms, not just for the people in it, but the people watching it are learning so much about a world that could be, and what that feels like at this point in your life.
This gives me an opportunity to quote one of the greatest humans who have ever lived, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who, when on his way to the mountaintop, said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. You cannot be anxious or in a hurry to experience justice. It's part of the gift of being human. Right now, what we share as humanity is the sense of misery. We all know pain. Very few of us know bliss. But that is what we should be seeking, our bliss. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Do not choose to suffer pain. Choose to seek your bliss. Now, I could have complained about not getting this audition or not getting that opportunity or not having this chance provided to me. But you have to leave the bitch circle. And you have to recognize, you have to realize the mystery that only you can solve. You have to realize the bridge that only you can build. You have to tell the story that only you can tell. So, on your journey, look for the need that you can fill. Don't be coveting what someone else is doing. Don't be jealous about someone else. There is a niche. There is a crevice. There's a crack in the universe that is waiting for you to resolve. There's a crisis waiting for you to resolve. There's an answer waiting for you. There's a question waiting for you to answer. There's a burden that's waiting for you to lift. And if you don't lift that burden, it's only going to grow larger and heavier. We know that Latin phrase, carpe diem, right? Seize the day. I substituted another Latin word, an Italian word, and I now live by carpe donum, which is seize the gift. Seize the gift of the day that's been given you. Let me share something with you that is so corny that you won't believe it. But the first thing I do when I awake in the morning is say, thank you. I don't know who's listening, but thank you. Why? Because I expect blessings. The next thing I do is go to the mirror. Everyone's got a mirror somewhere. Even if it's your camera, your iPhone. Go to a mirror and say to the person looking back at you, I will never forsake you. I will always cherish you. I will do with you what the spring does to the cherry tree. And what does the spring do to the cherry tree? Anybody? What does spring?
Make it bloom.
Bloom, blossom, flourish. Yeah, blush. Be beautiful. Whatever you have in your toolbox, whatever you have in your toolbox, the strongest tool is beauty. Knowing that you are gorgeous.
We're taking notes, y'all, right? Everybody need to take notes, right? Everybody got the notepad out? Okay. 'Cause this is real.
Again, that's why I say it. Evening time, morning time, afternoon time. Good morning, my beautiful siblings. So that's settled. We're all gorgeous. Now, next. Now that we've decided that we're all beautiful, what are we going to do with our beauty? We're going to spread it. We're going to make it contagious. We're going to infect everybody with beauty. I'm gorgeous, come on.
We feel it. It's contagious.
Right.
Everyone here is feeling that. Everyone here is feeling a little more beautiful right now. I'm feeling kind of sexy myself. Andre, with holding so much purpose in your life and witnessing it, I'm also wondering how much time alone you have to spend with yourself to cultivate that seed, that knowing, that practice. Because I hear you saying there are things that you know, there's a destiny, and you're removing things to align and keep up and stay close and tethered to that, which is work. You can't do that outside a lot, I imagine. So how much time are you spending alone in that?
Let me clear my, okay. Here's the deal. We as a species have yet to learn how to be comfortable with ourselves. If we learn nothing else from the pandemic, we should have learned to be comfortable alone. To be able to say, I'm all right. I don't have to learn how to bake sourdough bread. I'm not afraid of being alone with my self. I am my best friend, and there are moments in my existence when I will be my only friend. There are times when each of us has to be alone in a dark place for a very long time in order to answer the question, one of only 5, who, what, where, when, why. No one can answer those questions for you. We who are artists attempt it. I do 8 shows a week for a group of people who come into a dark space, strangers sitting next to one another, because they've been to the temple and they've been to the mosque and they've been to the church, and they're still searching for the answer to who, what, where, when, why. And those of us who take upon ourselves that Hippocratic oath that we will attempt to help you find the answers to those 5 questions. But first you have to learn to be alone with yourselves and be comfortable, because that's when it gets most gnarly. We are used to projecting our insecurities onto other people. That's why there's such a thing called hate and bias and prejudice and predisposition and proclivities and misogyny and phobia and isms. Because we refuse to learn from the one power that we can never escape. Anyone ever say to you, you can't hide from yourself? Everywhere you go, there you are. So get used to that thing we call shadow. Shadow knows you. And shadow does one thing. It tells you the truth about yourself. And when it tells you the truth about yourself, don't put it on anybody else. Deal with it. After you wash your hands and your face and your body and you put on the perfume and the gorgeous clothes and so forth, ask your shadow, how do I look? What am I going to do today? What are we going to do today? Because once you open that door, you go outside, right? Temptation is right there. You don't like that person. That person doesn't like you. You've been betrayed. Somebody's doing you wrong. You should have that, not that person. That's why the Christians invented, get thee behind me. Satan. Right? The beauty of the shadow is in the morning when the sun rises, right? It's to the west of you. And in the late afternoon when the sun sets, it's to the east of you. But at noon, where is it? Yes, it's inside of you. Trying to achieve the balance between the two extremes. The golden mean is what we're trying to achieve. The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
This idea, André, for me, of integrating shadow into self.
Yeah.
As a black gay man from Texas, grew up super Christian, it's amazing hearing you say a truth I know now. That life, there is in holiness in integration. That is of God. To be able to pull all of these things that are you into a space and then look it in the mirror and say, thank you, I love you, let's go into the world. Like, let's participate fully. How does that understanding of your fullness interact with your cast and crew every day? 8 shows a week, you guys know he's doing the show 8 shows a week. Expectations of the human body on anybody on Broadway, but you're carrying this temple with you when you're going. And some people have had bad days backstage, maybe have had good days. Some people have loss, grief, joy, pain. They ate a burger before and they feel sick. All of these things are around. How do you keep that temple and that wholeness close to who you are and still do your gig?
It is not easy. But easy, I'm gonna go out on the ledge right now. Easy is not worthy of your brilliance. And everybody has brilliance. No exception. Everyone has brilliance. Perhaps some of you know of my Tony acceptance speech in 2019. Yes. Is there anyone here who's not aware of it? Because I'd love to share it with you. Everybody knows it?
I think you should share it, André.
Okay. Because it's so how I live my life. And I don't give advice. You know, since 9/11, we've learned if you see something, say something. I believe if you know something, share something. So I want to share with you right now what I know. These are my 3 cardinal rules for living a brilliant life. Cardinal rule number 1, surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. Now people try to quote that and they say, surround yourself with people's eyes light up when you come into the room. No. If you have to wait until you come into the room for people's eyes to light up, forget it. Forget it. Their eyes have to light up when they see you on the horizon. I can't wait until she arrives. Cardinal rule number 2, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. There are 2 things people confuse here. They say slowly is the quickest way to get to where you want to go. That's a New York interpretation of what I said. Now, I can do this because I've lived for 80 years. Fast. The term fast has a very different meaning than being quick. As a matter of fact, the way I use the term fast is only, as I know, is only used in the science of glacier melting. Scientists speak about there being no longer fast ice at the North Pole because the tundra and the glaciers are melting. Now, when I was growing up, when parents had to buy things that would last for a long time, they were always looking for clothes that were dyed fast, meaning the colors wouldn't fade, right? So when I say slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be, you must understand fast to be the most sure. Not the quickest, but the most sure. The surest way to get to where you want to be is to do it as if you were a tortoise living on the island of Galapagos. And when you see me walking down the street, that's what I'm doing. I'm moving like a 200-year-old tortoise. The other inspiration there is people in New York are always in a hurry to get somewhere, but if you ask them where they're going, they say, I don't know, but I have to get there quickly. I have to get there in a hurry. When indeed what we should be concerned with is where we want to be, where we want to arrive, where we want to rest, where we want to abide. And the third cardinal rule is the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing. You've heard people do interviews and they say, well, wait, how did you make it? No, we don't make anything. We keep arriving. And when you get to the top of one mountain, it's okay to take in the panorama. But after you've done that, look up. There's another peak. And if there's a moral, it is this: life is not short. How many times have you heard people say, oh, life is short, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Life is not short. You can diminish it by the way you live it, but life is time, and time is the longest thing that we know. It's here before we arrive, it's here after we're gone. So take advantage of it, use it.
That's right.
Simon and Garfunkel. Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. La da 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 da.
I mean. selfishly, how are you so moist, brown skin, full head of hair, body good? What is the tea? Tell us. You are divine. 80 years living. And guys, every time I see this man, there's a power, a strength, there's a force. What are you drinking? What are you eating? What are your supplements? Somebody take notes. We're gonna find out right now how to do it.
Wait a minute,
please.
First of all, I want to say, friends of mine, male friends of mine, they say, Andre, you know what? I say, yeah, I know. You hate me. How do you know? Because not only do I have hair, I have a hairline.
For real. For real. Give us the how, please, if you may.
Well, most of it is a gift, right? It comes with the DNA. Right. But it needs help. You have to, or I should say one has to understand that one is born knowing everything that one needs to know. The only thing is that we don't know we know it. And before we can begin to know it, our parents are saying, no, don't touch that. No, that'll burn you. No. So then the knowledge that you were born with becomes negative energy. And the positive energy, which is the balance in the cosmos, because the cosmos is one big battery, right? A positive charge, a negative charge. If you hide the positive, all you got is the negative.
Wow.
Yourself. There is a small voice that lives right here. For as long as I've lived, I've never met anyone who does not have a navel. We all got navels?
Yeah.
Okay. That navel is the umbilical cord to the knowledge with which we were born. There is a voice that lives there. And it speaks to you like this. It will never yell, but it will only tell you the truth. Did everybody hear that? Listen to that voice. When you fall in love, what? You get a warm churning down here. When you're about to throw up from a bad lunch, you get a warm churning right here. When someone does for you what you've always wanted that person to do for you, you get a warm. All I'm saying is this is where we live. Obey the spirit, the voice, the knowledge that lives in your viscera.
I hope we all heard that. I'm trying to get a cheat sheet of drink this, eat this, do this.
Well, this
But we
will
got
tell you.
ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is,
Right, this will
let
tell
this
you.
tell you, right?
You know.
We can't copy somebody else's
Right.
becoming or way of finding. We're all created uniquely and have our own map to understand.
Exactly. That's
Amen.
right. Yeah.
I was trying to cheat. I thought I could get it.
No, but that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying. When you fall in love, you know it here. When you've eaten some bad food, you know it here. When you've done something for which you are when you have done something for which you are embarrassed for having done, you feel it here. When you've told a lie, you feel it here. When you've eaten too much bacon, you know, right?
I'm gonna open up for questions in a minute. Andre, we were talking earlier about just my performing and work, and I'm working on a project now about the human connection to the spirit of water. I was commissioned in 2024 to write it, and I never thought about water or the elements as something to be in relationship with, and it's really changed my life, really in a profound way. Like now I understand water as a guide, as a teacher, as something to be in relationship with. In an interview, you mentioned that this moment that we're in right now is not only beyond the dawn of Aquarius, but there's a feminine power in this moment that we are all being called to understand, obey. I don't want to take your words, but what I got from it was, I understand because in leaning and hearing from the water, which I think is this feminine nature, I am seeing all of our leaders, all of these moments of masculine drive, failure. I'm like, it's time to celebrate the feminine in ways that are so obvious to me as our new world. I want you to talk about this new world and the relationship to feminine leadership in that space.
My formative years were spent as a hippie. My first professional show was Hair, right? When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. We were maybe 60, 70 years early, but that's exactly what's on the horizon right now.
Amen.
After 6,000 years of chronicled history, we've been led by male dominance. Let me put it that way. And we're now at the point where that male dominance has spoiled. It's funky now. It smells. It's turning into fascism. And it's not good for anyone. The paradigm that has been patiently waiting on the horizon is feminine collaboration, not feminine dominance, but feminine collaboration, empathy, community, coordination, calm. One of the illustrations of that is indeed Cats, the Jellicle Ball, which is playing on Broadway right now. And the reason I say that is because it has brought to the fore a community of people who have been traditionally marginalized to the edges of society and even pushed underground. But now, because we are so desperate that we will try anything, we're giving those individuals a chance to come to the fore. And what have they brought? Joy. People come to the Jellicle Ball, they let their hair down, they let their freak flag fly, they dance, they scream, they yell.
Fans.
Yeah, they crack the fans, they talk to their neighbors, they jump up. Nobody ever says sit down. They jump up. And they leave as a community of people who have spent 2.5 hours sharing a ritual, a togetherness, a common place, a village. You've heard that. It takes a village where everyone has dedicated him or herself to the masses having a great time, taking care of one another, caring for the least, the last, the lonely, and the loveless. You want to feel good? Do that. Take care of the least, the last, the lost, and the loveless. And who could be more? Who could be less than? Who could be behind? Who could be more lonely? And who could be more loveless than those individuals who are denied the opportunity to live their authentic lives? The best we can do for those people is say, call 998, the suicidal, is that. If you feel like you want to hurt yourself, call this number. But now, if you feel like you want to hurt yourself, come see Cass, the Jellicle Ball.
Amen.
We'll turn that shit around.
8 shows a week.
8 times a week.
It's truly medicine. I mean, as you know, everybody here knows, the theater is a special place where everyone is sitting down with this social contract, phones away, saying, please transform me.
Yeah.
Please show me myself. Please shape me. Please shift me. And you are a shining example of someone who is able to shift, who feels shifted. It's just even now. Anybody?
for allowing me to spend this afternoon with you. I am full of all the right kind of food and intentions and feelings. I'm going to take it to work with me tonight, and I'm going to heal some people.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before a cat will condescend and treat you as a trusted friend, a little token of esteem is needed, like a dish of cream, and you might now and then supply some caviar or Strasbourg pie, some potted grouse or salmon paste. He's sure to have a personal taste.